Your faith can move mountains. The rock has been rolled over by your angels, and you're on your way. When Jesus was buried in the tomb by Joseph, Joseph had a rock put in front of the tomb, so that way no one could get in and disturb the body, right? So there were two women that came to, say their goodbyes and show their gratitude to their Lord and Savior. And then when they got there, the stone was rolled away. And the two angels with the gleaming clothes, very bright clothes, signifying that they were of another realm, of another world. They told the women, they said, "Why do you look for the living amongst the dead?" So we're going to break this down. All right. Why would you look for the living amongst the dead? You have faith. Why look for the living amongst the dead? All right. Your faith is just like those angels, and your angels are your thoughts. Your angels are your thoughts. Jesus was heavily protected. He knew that he was divine. He was aware of his divinity. He had the type of mindset that was one with God. Him and his Father were one. So Jesus always knew that regardless of what he went through, that a way would be made for him. All right. So he was dead, but he rose. He had risen. He came back to life. So the fact that everyone thought that he was dead, that also signifies that when people don't believe in you, all right, when people don't believe in you, they may have some type of spiritual death that they're being overtaken by. They're spiritually dead. They don't know any better. They don't believe. They don't have faith. They don't think things are possible. They don't think a way could be made for them. They're not sure if they're ever going to make it or become successful. They think it's a game as far as them becoming anything or them making anything of themselves. They don't see a way being made for them as far as their own thoughts go. So someone like yourself who is spiritually aware, spiritually awake, you're constantly using your faith like Jesus patiently waited for those angels. All right. So the fact that Jesus was buried in that tomb, that signifies you possibly being buried in debt, or you being buried in depression, or you being buried in joblessness, or you being buried by homelessness, or you being buried by not being able to get something in life that you see deemed for yourself. All right. There are some people who are trying to make things happen. There are people who want, to have certain achievements, people who want to accomplish certain goals. And, they are in the process of waiting for those things to happen, but they're not spiritually dead. So don't look for the living amongst the dead. Don't look for people to believe in you who are spiritually dead. Don't look for people to okay your idea or tell you that this is a good plan when they're spiritually dead. All right, don't look for other people who have no faith to see the stones in your life being able to be rolled away. All right, so your faith can move mountains. All right, your angels have rolled the stone away. All right, your faith can move mountains. All right, having your faith being able to move mountains, that basically just means that you can achieve the impossible. You don't actually believe that a mountain can move, but that being said, it just signifies that when a person believes in God, anything is possible. When a person believes in themselves, anything is possible. Jesus had the mind that anything was possible. Jesus' mind was so powerful they couldn't even kill him. Even though he was dead, he rose back to life. Him and his Father are one. He was one with the living God. There was no way possible for them to try to kill his spirit. And his spirit rose again, even though it was in the flesh and that in his body. All right, he still rose again and was out the tomb. God used that to show how powerful his presence is and to show how powerful he is in spirit, in truth, all right, in his love for us. He rolled the stone away. The two angels rolled the stone away. All right, so if you have anything in your life that you may be dealing with that it seems like it's too hard to bear, it's too difficult for you to endure, well, guess what? You have to have faith and be patient and wait on the Lord and know that this stone will be rolled away. All right, a lot of us, we try to do things ourselves. A lot of us have been trying to make things work ourselves, and it's important that we take action. But sometimes the action that we take is not giving us the result immediately that we would hope for. All right, so a lot of people who are spiritually dead, when they don't immediately get the result that they hope for, they give up because they have a little amount of faith. Someone with a strong amount of faith, you're going to be able to get that stone rolled away. Jesus was dead, like Yeshua was dead, and that stone still was rolled away. All right, he still had enough power and presence of God in him for him to rise back up and for him to not be found in that tomb when they went to go look for him. All right, that signifies life. That signifies life always moving forward. That signifies not being held down by circumstances. All right, he was dead and was brought back to life. All right, that has a lot of spiritual symbology. All right, it's basically signifying the fact that if you're spiritually dead, you can rise up again. All right, why look for the living amongst the dead? You're not going to find anything amongst the dead but more dead people. So you're like, when you're around people who are dead, they're not going to be dreaming. When you're around people who are spiritually dead, they're not going to be enjoying life as much as they could. They're pretty much just going to be worn down by the matrix and be focused on whatever they currently have or the bare minimum, or they're probably going to be somewhat miserable, all right, not being able to enjoy themselves or find much out of life to enjoy, period. So when you have people who they don't believe, right, they have too many stones in the way. They don't have that faith that's going to allow them to experience true joy because their faith hasn't been tested. People who are the most happy have been through certain things where their faith was tested, where they were, they kept a positive mindset. Like people who are the most happy and feel the best, they know that God is real and they know that he's always healing them, working on them, making them stronger, making them better, making them able to accomplish goals, helping them see through certain negative situations or circumstances. So it's like, say a person is dealing with some type of health issue, that's a stone. If they believe that they could beat the cancer, that stone is going to be rolled away. There are plenty of people who didn't even go through chemotherapy. Like if there are people who are still fighting right now. All right, there are people who are still living their life, waking up, getting up every day. They feel the pain that they're dealing with, but they're going to fight through it. Not everybody wants to go through chemo. Not everybody wants to have somebody operate on them or cut them open or expose them to radiation. And I know there are people who have fought through that, and they've earned their strength from going through their struggle, and I commend you. But there are people who have a belief that some people, their faith is just so strong that they're going to allow God to take over and take control. And I'm not saying that you should avoid doctors or avoid going to the emergency room or avoid getting checked out, but there are certain things where when you hear your faith talking to you or you hear God talking to you, it's best for you to listen. All right, so some people, they have the faith that they're going to be okay and that they're going to be healed and everything will work out right for them. And, their finances will be restored. They're going to end up with a home and won't have to be homeless. They're going to end up having the life that they've wanted, or being able to reach a level of success. So you have people who believe and you have people who don't believe. And those people who don't believe, they got a lot of boulders in their life that are in the way. That's why a lot of people are mentally where they're at. A lot of people are stuck. They can't see themselves getting past the current situation that they're in. They can't see themselves getting out of joblessness. All right, they may not be able to see anybody hiring them. All right, if you can't see past your current situation, that means your vision is blocked. Not only is your normal two eyes blocked, but your more or less your spiritual eye is blocked. So if you can't see yourself getting through something or getting past something or getting over something, you have a stone in the way blocking your vision that you need to use your thoughts, your angels, to roll that stone out of the way. So your faith, it can move mountains. Your faith can help you achieve the impossible. Your faith can help you see through the darkness to a brighter day. All right. So it's all about, it's all about having a mindset that knows that anything is possible. And with Christ, you could do all things that strengthens you, especially with your angels as well. So it's important for you to be around positive people, because if you're around people who are not able to see it for themselves, they're going to try to cause you to not be able to see it for yourselves. And some people, they just can't see it because they've programmed themselves with so much negativity that the minute something positive hits their ears or touches them in a certain place, it's like they disregard it and they see it as not real. They see it as not factual. They see it as a piece of crap. They see it as something that's not important. They see it as something that will never benefit them in any kind of way, because it's not alleviating them from their current situation as fast as they would like. But I mean, Jesus was dead, quote unquote. He was in a tomb. I'm sure he would like to have been out that tomb as soon as possible and back in his living body. But, it just so had it that God wanted some time on that thing. Wanted to God wanted to have a couple days go by. So a couple days went by and people came to check on him and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. People, and it goes to show you how people's faith is. And Jesus was, the story of Christ was to show us that if you can keep your mind anchored on faith and anchored on God, you can do the impossible. Just by having your mind focused on God and having your mind focused on the things that you want, focused on the type of life that you want, then anything is possible. If Jesus just saw his life as being over and not being able to get out that situation, he wouldn't have gotten out of it. All right. But the power and the presence of God in him, through him knowing that him and God were one, through him knowing that into thine hands does my spirit go. Like Jesus already knew that his spirit was going into the hands of God. So it's like whatever they tried to do to him, however they tried to kill him, however they tried to harm him, he knew they couldn't do anything to him because him and his father were one. He knew that he had too close of a hookup with the Most High. He knew that him and God were two peas in a pod. Him and God were too close for anybody to actually do him any harm. They could cause his body harm, but they couldn't harm his spirit. All right, they could cause his body harm, but they couldn't harm his spirit. And that's the one thing that, if you can keep your spirit uplifted, right, then worldly things won't be able to affect you as such. All right, they could try to break you down with anything that you have to go through, but if you have a strong spirit, you're going to be able to get through it. Having a strong spirit is having faith that a way will be provided, a way will be made, something, some way, somehow is going to work out for you. All right, so that's really all a person needs to do. That's going to move those rocks out the way. Those rocks that are telling you you'll never be able to find a job like you once had, or a job that was as good as the one you had before, or be able to get out of the situation that you're currently in. All right, people have dealt with similar things as to yourself. People have dealt with some of the most horrific situations in life, and they still make it out of it. They still come out of it alive. So it's up to you. It's up to the person. The person that doesn't allow their mind to be overtaken by negativity and what they're experiencing right now, those are the people who make it out alive of those situations. All right, so if you want to be like Christ and you want to rise, if you want to be risen, if you want people to be looking for you to be dead and you're still here, you're still kicking, you're still one with the Most High, you're still one with God, you're going to want to be one with him in mind, body, and spirit. All right, Christ was one with his Father in mind, body, and spirit. All right, you program your mind, which helps you program your body and program your spirit. All right, your mind governs your spirit. Your thoughts, your angels govern your spirit. So when your thoughts are down in the dumps, spiritually, you're going to be down in the dumps, and physically, you're going to be down in the dumps in mind, body, and spirit. All right. So in order for you to be have risen, in order for you to lift yourself back up, you're going to have to be what? Become one with God. A person that's one with God is one with infinite possibilities for himself or herself. So you have to become one with the infinite. You have to become one with the infinite. Everybody say it right now. Put it in the comments. I am one with the infinite. When you're one with the infinite, your spirit can't be broken down. All right, when you're one with the infinite, if your spirit does get broken down, it's going to have that reminder. It's going to have that God energy. It's going to have that good energy. It's going to have good thoughts that are ready to fight and ready to go to war and ready to go to battle and be ruthless with the inhabitants, all right, that are drinking up your wine and eating up your grapes. All right, those negative thoughts are stealing your vitality from you. They're stealing your life force from you. Negative thoughts are negative entities, demonic spirits that are trying to hack your computer, all right, and infect you with the spirit of negativity. All right, they're trying to hack your mind, hack your brain, all right, with negative thoughts. So this is why people who are spiritually dead are a poison. All right, they're a germ, they're a disease, and you have to rid yourself of them so that way you don't think like them, you don't pick up their energy, you don't have the same thoughts like they do. All right, when you hang around people who don't think that things are possible and that they can make it, it's going to affect you, and you're going to see that type of spirit and energy display itself through you, and you don't want that. You don't want your angels to turn into demons. You want to keep your angels angels. You want to keep your thoughts angelic. You want to keep your thoughts at a high vibrational level. People who don't think they can, people who think it's over for them, they're down in the dumps, they're depressed, their vibration is low. They don't feel too good about themselves. All right, so you have faith. All right, your faith can move mountains. Your faith can roll the stone out of the way. All right, and as people use that as an example to show that you can endure the worst of situations or circumstances and good things can still happen to you. All right, they killed Jesus and rolled a stone, and they killed Jesus and he had to be put in a tomb with a stone rolled in front. All right, so that was something bad. Obviously they did something bad to him, but even in the worst situation he still rose up from it. Even he still rose up even from death. So what that signifies is even when you encounter a death spiritually, you're still going to be able to rise up. You're still going to be able to find power. You're still going to be able to find the presence of God in you. You're still one with the infinite. You're still one with the Most High. You're still one with God. Regardless of even in that bad situation, God still sees you as his son. All right, he still sees you as his divine son. You still have your divine sonship, your divine one-ship sonship, and that is your divine connection with God. Regardless of what happens, you and the Father are still one. Regardless of if nobody wants you to work for them, you and the Father are still one. Regardless if nobody wants to support your business, you're still one with God. So something, some way, somehow is going to work out for you if you can keep the faith that it will work out. All right, so faith without works is dead. But in order for you to want to keep working, all right, in order for you to not lose momentum, in order for you to not lose the drive, all right, you're still going to have to believe in something, which is a power greater than yourself. Jesus knew that there was a power greater than himself, so he wasn't even tripping. They tried to kill him. He said, Father, into thine hands do I release my spirit. Father, into thine hands do I go? All right, he released his spirit into the Father's hands. When people try to cut you off from certain things, or people try to make sure something doesn't work out for you, or if a situation doesn't go as well as you want it to go, don't give in to the negative thoughts. Don't make that situation your god of you can't, or you didn't get, or it didn't work out. Don't make that your god. Don't give in to that. Into thine hands do I release my spirit. When something doesn't work out for you the way you would want it to, into God's hands do I release my spirit. Release your spirit into the hands of God when things aren't going how you feel they should be. So that way you could get back on track, and you're not going to be overtaken by life's pitfalls and life's negativities and life's downfalls. Things happen in life. There's ups and downs. There's good times. There's bad times. But when things don't go the way they're supposed to, and it's really starting to bring you down, it's really starting to destroy you, it's really starting to wear and tear on your health, your mind, how you treat other people, how you are as a person, that's not good. So there's some stones that need to be rolled away because your vision is being blocked. People don't realize that when their vision is being blocked, your blessing is being blocked, your positivity is being blocked, the universal life force energy that's flowing through you, always making you new, and changing your energy back to its original state, is being blocked. This is how people stay in funks. This is how people end up, dragging, end up with negative looks on their face, looking like, they're done with life, looking like they're ready to throw it all away or end it all. This is how people end up looking like that. It's because they're not allowing new energy to flow into them, because they're steady focused on what happened to them instead of what can happen for them. Don't focus on what happened to you. Focus on what's happening for you. All right, this situation didn't work. That's because God has something better. That's faith. That's having a mindset for greater. That's being one with the infinite. That's knowing that you have angels that are going to come take care of you and work your situation out for you. That's why that story for Christ is so powerful, because when there's something that we all go through in life, whatever it is, there's a way out of it for us. All right. So if you're going through something and you may feel that, dang, man, this is it. Or, dang, man, it's no coming back from this. Or, I don't know how this is going to work. You just got to have faith. God can make a way for you where there's no way. All right. In the wilderness, he'll provide a way. And in the desert, he'll provide water for you. So it's up to a person's mindset. If people think that they can make it or they can't, and the person that thinks they can make it usually will always make it. All right, so it's best to just know that things are going to work out for you, because the people who think that way are always the people who come out on top. People who think the opposite way, those are the people always, not getting out of their situation, ending up having to continue to deal with what they're going through. So things will get better. Things are always working out for you. Good things are supposed to happen to you and are going to happen to you. You just have to make sure that your mindset is your mindset is in direct correlation with what you want. His mindset was in correlation with what he wanted. Him and his father were one. He wasn't one with the fact that the people killed him. He wasn't one with the fact that they hung him on the cross. He wasn't one with the fact that he was dead and his body was in a tomb with a stone rolled in front of it. A way was made for him. A way was provided for him. His angels, came and saved him. He had rose up. All right. He was one with the Father. All right. So instead of being one with your negative situation, making that your God, be one with the fact that, man, I know who I believe in. I know who I worship. I know who I praise. I know who's going to make a way for me and be there for me for the rest of my days. So it's just your mind. People want things right now. People see other people living it up, doing well, doing good, and they think that just because something isn't working out for them right now, and they don't see other people or as many people going through what they're experiencing, they tend to think it's all over for them, because everybody else's situation might be all cupcakes and rainbows and nice days and all this other good stuff. but it may not be looking too well for you. Other people look like they're surviving and thriving, but it just looks like you're surviving. Well, guess what? God wants me to tell you that you're going to be thriving very soon, starting right now. All right, so put your mind on that. You put your mind on the fact that you're going to thrive and that you're going to prosper, and that everything that you need to work out for you, it will. So thank you for watching this video. All right, your mind is now in the position to roll the stone away. Your faith has been rejuvenated. Your spirit has been lifted up. Your cells have been rejuvenated. Your mind is back on track. You're thinking more positive. Things are going to work out well for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.